Para here from the future. I just want to make this video right now because I want to address a very big problem in the Scouring. So right now there's been a recent update, and I know I was gonna say this right now, that this is me from the future, is because there's a bunch of videos that are scheduled to be uploaded from today and tomorrow. And then they're basically previous recordings, so the order of this video has been completely flipped over. I just want to make this video now because I want to address something which is the biggest problem I have, which is the Scouring, and the biggest change to their unit, or I guess their newest unit, the Apprentice. So the Apprentice right now currently has been changed. It's different to create. It's now a different requirement in order to make them. Instead of making a church, you now need to make a fort, or was it a castle? No, you have to make a castle in order to train an apprentice. And the reason for that is that they want to see the apprentice be worked on early game, and that would have been such a good thing. But they changed something about the apprentice, which kinda sucks. It's really bad, because I just tried it right now with a bunch of AIs, and then I had the apprentice, I had all 7 of them or 8 of them there, and they were completely useless against a swarm of enemies. So anyways, what did they change about the Apprentice? The Apprentice third ability was supposed to be called Ice Storm, where basically they drop a barrage of ice in a certain area, and it did a lot of damage. It did a lot of continuous damage. It's very effective because that way you could cast Ice Storm in the back lanes to kill the archers, and then incoming wave after the front line of the enemies are dead, basically. And that's what makes the Apprentice very effective during fights, during a war, if I want to call it that, or a skirmish. But now they completely got rid of that ability and changed it with Dispel Magic. So what does Dispel Magic do? Basically, Dispel Magic allows you to remove buff and debuff, and that's it. And there's only 1 buff and 2 debuffs in this game. 1 buff is only from the Orc faction, where you can enrage a specific unit other than the caster, which is the Munchers. The Munchers allow you to enrage 1 unit, and then that's it. And then for the debuffs is the Apprentice casting the slow debuff on your ally. Basically, their movement speed will be slow. I'm not sure if their attack speed is slowed as well, but yeah, they only slow. The only good thing about that is that it only affects the enemies, so your allies won't get affected by the slow. And the second debuff is poison, which is from the warlocks, which they call it Death Cloud, which poisons a certain area, which drops poison clouds in a certain area and then poison the units that are within there. And if they leave that area, they're still getting damage over time. So it's just more DPS for that one. And then that's it. And you know what could have solved that problem? Had Ice Storm just killed them before those debuffs and buffs could even take effect. The slow doesn't matter, because your allies are the front lines are the ones just taking the hits anyway, so they're just there to defend the back lanes, which is the main DPS, the archers. The poison doesn't matter because the warlocks don't even target the people at the back. They just target the front lanes and poisoning their own units as well, because they have the risk of just poisoning their own units. So again, no point in dispelling that, because it seems like the Dispel Magic doesn't differentiate from allies from enemies. And yeah, it's really bad. So if you applied slow on the enemy, and then you cast Dispel Magic, it removes their debuffs as well. Again, I haven't tested it yet, but it didn't say that it will only affect ally or enemies. And then, yeah, it's again, I tried it and it's really bad. Like, there is the apprentice, all they do is just cast shield, and then other than that, when they run out of mana, they're completely useless. Like, there's no point in ever making them, like, at all. You might as well make knights and then use cure, because at least cure resets your health, you know. You just build apprentice and you just let them follow your units, and then they just cast the and then let them cast the mana shield, and then that's it. Because using them as an active unit makes them pointless. And oh my god, you know, I'm just gonna I'll do a little trial run. I'm not gonna use this map because that map is a little bit insane. I'll just do a normal map, and then I'm gonna do what do I call this? Or is it fast building placement, because I just kind of want to speed run this. Okay, and let's say I'm fighting against an orc, because the orcs have the debuffs, you know, and the buffs, and the enrage, which is the complete, you know, which is the point of. Where is it?
Job's done. Job's done. More lumber is required.
More lumber is required. Okay. So again, I have a mod called Fast Building. Basically, when you put down a building, it's immediately crafted. And that's it. But I just wanna like speed run this because I wanna show you guys how ineffective the apprentice is now compared to before with the ice storm. And I just wanna add this too. The Dispel Magic, you need to make a church first. So apparently the reason why they removed the apprentice from the church is because they want to make the church as like a scientific building or something. That way you could just what do you call that? They wanted to make a scientific building, so that way you don't have to. That way, you can focus on making units here instead of like making units from another building. You know, like just focus on barrack and the forts, and then that's it. You make your units. But I'm not sure about. I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't see that as like a big issue. Like it's like you know, it's there. I guess it's not really a big deal.
Job's done.
Yeah. Anyways, I spend a lot of money really fast because of this mod. Which is, you know, fair enough, because the mod literally just lets you put building down really fast. Like it's already been 2 minutes and I already have like practically an army. Kinda an army. But yeah, again, this video is like in the future. There's still like a bunch of backlog of videos that are gonna get uploaded, which won't make sense in the order of this video, but I just want to make this video because I just want to because it's August 26th now, and then a bunch of videos are being uploaded like in the 30th, and they were recorded way before that. So yeah, again, I just want to make this video talking about this big change that they did for this game. Again, that I understand a little bit why they make the change. It's because they didn't want the apprentice to be too powerful. Because I saw I made a video talking about how overpowered the ice storm is, but they could have done something a lot better instead of completely getting rid of it, you know. Like they could have just, I don't know, maybe.
More gold is required.
Like they could have just again, they could have maybe just increased its cooldown or increase its costs or make it so that it's not something that the team anyone can just spam immediately without any kind of thinking. Like they have to be tactical with where they use it. Otherwise, again, what would be the point of the magic if it's not really as effective anymore? Like again, the dispel magic is very useless because it's like its purpose is to just to remove buffs and
Job's done.
is to remove buffs and remove debuffs, and I'm like, well, we wouldn't have to worry about that if we just did more damage, It's literally that one meme where it's like, if you don't die if you take 0 damage. It's like, if you don't get hit, you won't die. So again, anyways, I don't really care much about this run. I kind of just want to build the castle and get the apprentice out here. Obviously I gotta build an army next. I just want to show you again the ineffective ability of this spell. How ineffective the dispel magic is. And here's the thing: it's not even like a skill issue thing. It's like, oh, Barry, you just gotta get good at the game and then find an effective use about it. It's not very. It's not really that fancy. It's like, it's almost not worth making in a way. Because again, it's like, what's the point,
Upgrade complete.
Okay, so we managed to upgrade it. Run. Go up here. So yeah, right here. Wait, what? I still need to make a church in order to make the apprentice. Wait, then what's the point of putting the apprentice in the castle? Wait, that makes no sense. And you need a castle to build a church, so what's the point? Why can't the church... Why can't you just train them from the church? Oh my god, wait. Yeah, that makes the change completely pointless. Because what's the point? They made a pointless change. It's like, oh, we'll put them. You can now make an apprentice from the castle instead of the church, but you still need to make the church. And I'm like, what? The church is way more effective because that way you can just build a church on the spot and then have an apprentice there ready instead of just building a castle in order to make the. Whoa, that's actually wild. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I didn't know you're still required a church to make the apprentice. Yeah, no, that makes no sense. The change makes no sense. They made a complete change for the apprentice and just, one, made him useless, and two, made a completely pointless change to how to when you train them. Oh my god, this is such a horrible change. Great, because I can't make the apprentice yet because I need more gold. I forgot it cost 600 to make a town hall. Okay. Oh my god. Also, one of the things they changed about the apprentice, which I kind of forgot, is that they also increased the cost to make them. So it used to be before it used to be like 400, but now it's like 500. Okay, so I managed to build a church and now I can make the apprentice. And look at this, 1, 2, 3. I lost all my gold. It cost 500 to make an apprentice, and then are they even worth making? It's like, you gotta ask yourself, are they even worth making now? Like because they lost their whole, you know, the best part about them. And here's the thing, they're a young yet powerful spellcaster who'd be a great help to your troops both in attack and defense. I don't think they're that powerful if they can't even cast any powerful spells, you know. Like, oops, I didn't mean to make a fourth one. Oh, there's a warlock over there. There's a warlock just hiding in this corner here. Get him! Because they can't do shit. Okay, so this is the one here. It's called Research Dispel Magic. Allows apprentice to use Dispel Magic ability. Uh-oh. Yeah, why are they so hyper-aggressive? Jeez. Look at that. I remove his enrage. Now he does less damage. Isn't that great, guys? He does less damage now because I remove his enrage. You know, the enrage, the whole point of the dispel magic that costs, I don't know how much it costs, but it costs a certain amount of mana. Oh my god, yeah, why are they so hyper aggressive? Jesus Christ, calm down. Okay, yeah. Very bad example, but you get my point, right? Well, again, I didn't show how very ineffective it was, but you guys saw it. You know, I think that was enough of a showcase, maybe, to show how barely useful it is, because you saw that I just dispelled one enraged orc, but I still died. But yes, I was pretty much outnumbered. And I didn't really had a lot of backup to like counter them because they were playing super aggressively. Like, I think they were making use of the fast building placement thing. But yeah, even then it's just like, what do you want me to do? I can't do anything. I can't fucking do anything because it's like they're just doing so much offensiveness. Not to mention too, the warlocks. They have like an insta kill ability if the enemy unit's HP is like below 50%, they can like steal their life and just instantly kill them. And then they can summon skeletons too. And that one they get those two abilities at the very beginning of the game. And what does the freaking what does the apprentice do? Oh yeah, we can slow down enemies, and we put shields that gets immediately destroyed because if they take too much damage. And yeah, that's the thing. I think that's good. I think that should be enough. You know, I think that should be good enough of a unit to make. You know, it just again doesn't feel so worth making the apprentice because, again, the blizzard was what made the apprentice so great, and then they completely got rid of that one great thing about it and then gave it a very mediocre ability. Remove enrage, okay, but the muncher is still punching you and is still alive. Remove the poison, remove the slow, alright, but they're dead because now you chose to use your mana to remove the debuff rather than giving your unit shield. So again, what's the point of dispel magic? It just seems like a very hyper ineffective use of an ability that costs money, but you have to research it first before even being able to use it. And I think that's the craziest part about that. But yeah, anyways, that does it for this video. I don't think I'll show more about this. Again, I just want to make this video talking about that, about the new update for the apprentice, and it just shows how terrible of a ability that is. Not to mention how pointless it is to have the apprentice in the fort and not in the church, because now if you want to make an apprentice, Like, let's say you want to make an apprentice over here because you had a second base here. You can't just make a church. You have to upgrade your town hall into a fort and then into a castle, and then you can make an apprentice. And that's like such a big requirement for somebody that's not even worth it too. All right, guys. Hello again. I'm back. I just wanted to continue this from the previous video so that I combine this into one. So I did a little bit of playing off camera, and I managed to actually get my footing here because I was still trying to get used to the fast building thing. I'm trying to get a better, you know, thing going on. But I managed to make it here. Now I have like, so I have 10 over here. I've got like, alright, I'm gonna tell them to hold here. So I got like 10 of these guys here, and then they're just standing there. I'll just tell them to follow these guys so they don't push in. And yeah, again, they kind of feel so lackluster. Like there's nothing. Like there's really like no point of them. Yeah, look at that. I guess the good thing here is just the slow effect. That's the only silver lining I can think of. That's like makes them a little bit more worth, you know, like they're more worth to make. But other than that, they're not really all that, you know, cracked up to be. But anyways, I'm gonna build my assault team, so if I would call it, I guess, and we're just gonna make a shit ton of knights. That's like 20 knights. I'm gonna turn some of these guys into farmers. Yeah, I'm still using the fast build mod because I don't know, I'm kind of addicted to it, you know, just being able to instantly build instead of instead of just waiting 5 years for them to build it. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it is a bit of over-exaggeration with the archers, but meh. So again, like I said, the dispel thing, not worth it. It really is not worth it. If I'm being honest with you, like it could have been better. It would have been better if it did damage. Like, I don't know why did they make the apprentice like hyper passive or hyper pacifist? Like they don't do damage at all like anymore. Like the warlock doesn't do damage on its own, but he has an insta kill. The warlocks has an insta kill. If the HP of the enemy is half, they can like instantly kill them. And they have like a poison spell. But here, oh look at that, we can slow down the enemies, guys. Look at us slowing down the enemies. Oh no, look how slow they are. Oh, we can also remove the slow. Yeah, so the dispel also removes the slow. Oh my god. And now we're gonna push, and then I'm just gonna show you guys the super ineffective use of the of these guys. But we're gonna wait till morning because I don't wanna empty out my castle and then a bunch of skeletons just start swarming this whole area. Oh shit! Where were you guys pushing? Why did they just start pushing on their own? Oh yeah, I guess the magic shield does count as a buff as well, right? So I guess if they... Yeah, that's their fault. I don't know why you pushed them in. Yeah, look at that. Oh fuck it, we're pushing. 1, 2, 4, 5. Oh, they surrendered. What the fuck? No! I need to turn that off. That's so stupid. They surrendered because they lost their army here. Like, I didn't even get to push all the way in. Ugh, that sucks. What a terrible showcase, too. But yeah, again, that's only because they've been wasting their units and they keep pushing and then there's nothing more. But really though, I really want to say that my overall point here is that the Dispel magic is very ineffective. Yes, it can remove buffs like Enrage, Magic Shield, and remove debuffs like Slow and Poison, but it's really not worth it because I'd rather have the ability to drop a barrage of ice in a certain area and just kill the army, which would like weaken them, rather than having a very hyper passive unit. Like he really just has to wait for the enemy to do something in order to be effective in a battle, and I don't like that. You know, it defeats it defeats the whole powerful thing. He doesn't seem powerful. He just seems incredibly weak right now. Like, I'd rather play the orcs. The warlock is more fun than playing against the than playing the apprentice, because the apprentice just sucks. He's just straight up like well, he's not useless, this is per se. Like he has his uses, like give everyone mana shield and then making them even harder to kill, which, you know, I get, which is great, but it's pointless if like you can accidentally dispel your own magic too. That's the thing, is like it does not discriminate. It will you can dispel the magic shield too if you accidentally put it in front of the, like when your front lies, like because the enemies are enraged and you want to dispel the enrage, and then you accidentally click on them instead of clicking behind them just enough to get hit by the what do you call this, by the collateral splash damage, I guess, like the splash area, but you accidentally remove the shield of your front lines. So yeah, again, I just feel like it should have, they could have done better. They really could have done better, like, to be honest with you. They should just give back the ice storm and just remove Dispel, because overall Dispel, I don't even know what competitive thinking that they were probably thinking of. Is like, oh my god, this Dispel thing. I know this is still early access and everything is just experimental right now, but I honestly don't see the use of Dispel unless future units that's like very heavily used for their debuffs is very effective during a battle. Then yeah, I can see the use of Dispel. But as of now, in the current state of it, Dispel is just completely worthless, and Ice Storm is a lot better, in my humble opinion. So yeah, anyways, that really does it for this video, and I just wanted to add this part of the segment because I feel like the first one I didn't really show much, but here I kind of showed like my point, basically. I still didn't get to the point though, but you know, yeah, it just shows how these guys are just better. Like, these guys are just better off giving you shield rather than you doing anything else. Yeah, the slow is good, but if it doesn't reduce attack speed, then what's the point? Like, they're just slow at running away, and then you can catch up to them and then you can murder them. But at that point they might as well just stay and fight, you know, because they can't outrun you, so they'll just damage you. But yeah, anyways, again, that does it for this video. Overall, I hope they change this, or they drop that new unit that makes the apprentice feel more viable, because right now he just seems so underwhelming. Like, there's no point of making him. So see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.